Hey, and we are live. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is me. It is I. I am him. I is Crunk Chocolate, and I'm here with my show, bro, Grego.
What's up, man? What's
Not
happening?
so, man. What's up? What's happening? Oh man, it's fall's coming here. Like this is me growing. You should have saw me before I went live. I was like, oh god, probably got to clean it up. But I just had a lot of fresh, just like wild men. But I'm trying to grow in the fall winter beard. It's I'm not really a strong beard grower, so I have to get like way ahead of it.
Oh no, trust me, I get it. Because I growing up, like the most I could really get was like that thin handlebar thing going on,
Yeah.
and then like all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, it was like, oh, I actually have a beard now, and yeah, like I'm so attached to it now, like because I'm afraid if I ever decide to shave it, it will just never come back. I'm like, absolutely not. That could just never happen.
Oh, I feel the same way, but I have luckily broken that because I've tried to like clean it up during the spring and then cut my mustache too much, and I've just had to just chop it all off. And I still get ID'd all the time, but when I have no facial hair, I've had because I have facial hair in the ID, so I've had people like literally tell me no. They've been like,
I don't know you.
no. And it doesn't help that it's in Iowa, so most of the people look
Like,
nothing like me and have very little experience of dealing with people with me.
you do
So
know
they're
that
just
you're black, right?
yeah, so they're just like, this black guy in this ID has a beard. You don't have a beard. I don't feel comfortable with this. Sorry, go get
I
your
feel
alcohol somewhere
triggered. I
else.
feel triggered.
How do you think I feel watching them let like 8 white people of different shapes and sizes all through without once asking for their ID? And then the second I come up, they're like, ID, please. I
Your
don't know your name. I don't know your age.
your
You could
your
be whatever.
melanin your melanin frightens and confuses me.
Like you're young, you should take it as a compliment, but I don't. It doesn't get me alcohol being complimented. You're saying that I'm 20, so that's what you're saying right now. You're saying that I'm 20. Like
I
get the
mean,
fuck out
thanks,
of
but
here.
no.
Like get the fuck out of here. Like bro, chill out. Anyway, we're here to talk about wrestling. Oh my goodness. Here on FanFest, we appreciate y'all. We love you guys. I need to link up with them because I keep saying it. This upgrade is coming, but the thing about upgrades is once you do it, you can't go back. So it's just good to have it all done nice and easy. So when we can get there, and with the new one, we're gonna be doing events, giving things away. There's gonna be like points that you can accrue. Very similar to
Ooh,
like when you're watching, you get points for things. We'll do
what?
quizzes, you can get points for things,
Say
and
what?
some giveaways, some fun things will be happening. So please come over to FanFest Live, subscribe, all of those fun things. Yeah, but I figure we can obviously review SummerSlam, and from there we can continue to storylines that went into Monday Night Raw, and with the final match of SummerSlam. Uh, Obviously, we can look forward to SmackDown, but I definitely want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who joined us for the SummerSlam watch along. It really meant a lot that y'all would come and kick it with us too, especially when one of us was getting smashed on mimosas. It was a good time. So I need to figure out what I'm gonna be drinking for Bash at the Berlin. I need to maybe check and see, is there like a very popular cocktail that they drink in Berlin?
Or hold up, we can do the is it Paulaner?
Oh, Pine. Hey, I'm down to smash some beers, get real belchy and gassy on camera. I'm sure people would love that.
It can happen.
Oh man, but yeah, I had a great time during the watch along until the OTC came through and ruined things for the NTC.
Yeah, yeah. Prosecco TC is back in the house.
Man, Roman's a little hater, and he can't let anybody else shine. He's a swagger jacker. But I don't want to start with him. I want to
Okay.
start with Odyssey Jones because first off,
Wow.
I know because there's really no. unless we,
That came out of nowhere.
I know, right? But but I feel like everybody was making fun of him for a reason, and
No,
Triple H,
because like the situation was, he got drafted over to Raw
yeah,
like last year
yeah,
and never showed up. And I want to say like it had to been like either like April or May. They were saying that he got released and like but he was working a job in the office because he was doing something like with the
the
NIL college
office.
recruiting.
He is too big to be in the fucking
But no,
office.
like he was doing the like recruiting like with with the NIL and like
Uh-huh.
helping them finding the wrestlers that were coming from college. And so like as far as what a lot of people assume was that he was done wrestling. Like maybe he caught some injury that we just never knew about, and then
That's
all of
fair.
a sudden, it's like, boom, he's showing up on Raw in a very very impactful way, helping out the New Day against
He
AOP.
picked
And
those two giant dudes up, and it looked easy.
so I did some research on that, and it turns out like he actually has like on record like doing like I think a bench clean, I think, of like 800 pounds. And word is that he probably could have done more, but they stopped him. So like
Well,
this
you need
this
to
dude is like
continue to
country
maintenance.
strong.
Yeah,
This,
he's gonna, oh, country strong. He's exactly, well, and that's the thing. If he's country strong, and the country strong is already like, you can be like a scrawny dude and be country strong. He, as
mm-hmm,
big as he is, if he's country strong on top of that,
yeah.
like Braun Strowman, like they just need to get him out of here because they're that's supposed to be like Braun Strowman's whole thing is like he's the biggest, strongest, toughest dude in WWE, but obviously Odyssey will murk him. And maybe that's what they got to do is just have him come through and be like, I'm the big man here. And then Odyssey just elbows him and it's just like, all right, bro, sit down.
You know what? The interesting thing there is, of course, for those of y'all that have been following the New Day, they've been around for like the better part of a decade now, and obviously since Big E, first of all, he spun out on his own as a single, won the WWE Championship, then he broke his neck
Mm.
during the a couple years ago, and for all intents and purposes, it looks like he's probably not going to be able to come back. He's been doing his thing on the kickoff shows and at the PLEs, but really hasn't really moved much as far as actually coming back to the ring. So they kind of left the New Day with just Kofi and Woods, and for the most part, let's keep it a buck. Like they've been getting jobbed out like big
Oh
time
yeah, it's been
the
awful. It's
past.
bumming me out.
Yeah, and
1,000%.
I think the sentiment for a lot of people was that it's just not the same without Big E. Like having that that 3-way unit just worked out so good for them, and it's like they kind of been like a shell of themselves. And I think that having Odyssey Jones would be a really big addition, both literally and figuratively, if everybody was on board.
Well, yeah, no, that was going to be my next thing. It looks like one half of New Day. He's kind of been not he's been lacking inspiration for a while. You can tell
Mm-hmm.
they've kind of been teasing a possible separation, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see that at all for Xavier Woods, because I mean this in the nicest way. Kofi Kingston is the, yes, Xavier Woods, he's won King of the Ring, he's
Mm-hmm.
does all his streaming stuff. Like he will always be tied to WWE because he's a money maker. But
Right.
in an aspect as a wrestler and like cool storylines, everything that success I feel like he's truly has had has been tied to Kofi. And I know that that's how you break people up and they split, but he's gonna have to go crazy as a bad guy in order to get us to like hate him enough that he gets lifted like that.
Possibly. I think there's a very specific lane for Xavier Woods if he became a heel that I actually think could work. And keep in mind, like the New Day concept itself is pretty much his idea. So we've at least seen, in theory, what he can do creatively, as far as creating a gimmick and creating a team that actually got over
That's fair.
and last as long as they have. That said, kind of like in the same way that we saw with Big E back when he kind of spun off on his own. I think there's so much equity in the New Day brand as far as just with the pancakes, with the cereal, with the trumpets, all that stuff. Sorry, trombone. Sorry, Chris. Uh, you it's like you have to kind of undo all that to and then be able to build. So whether it's because they've been teasing this breakup for a minute, possibly Xavier siding over with the Final Testament. But even then, like it's going to take a minute for people to kind of catch on, and be like, okay, this is the new Xavier. This is a different side of him that we haven't been able to see. Because I said you're talking about something that they've been doing for the better part of 10 years. So
Yeah.
like, there's not too many guys in wrestling period that have been able to be that consistent with one gimmick and really not change a whole lot. So yeah, I think it would be very interesting, but at the same time, it would just take time for people to kind of be like, if this does happen, how soon before they go really start booing this guy, because it'd be like, nah, he turned on Kofi, man, he turned on Big E. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, Big E, he actually tweeted that night, and he seemed very on board with the idea of Odyssey Jones, linking up. So
Oh, of course.
you
Yeah, I
know,
mean, he just
we'll
wants
see.
whatever's best for his homies, honestly.
Yeah,
And yes, he could Xavier Woods could turn on everybody and it could be like a real big thing. But the only way it's going to be huge is he has to like truly take Kofi Kingston out, like take him, but Kofi gets taken out, I feel like every 6 months, so that also won't hit as hard. And then he would have to beat Odyssey Jones, which we just brought this dude back, and I mean this in the nicest
I
way.
mean,
There is no world that I can just see where he beats him clean, and that's the
no,
only
no.
way that Xavier is going to do the things that is needed for him to like hit those levels. And this sounds like I'm hating on him so much, but I love and respect the hell out of what the New Day have been able to do. But like, we just gotta keep it. I'm keeping it 100, man. I should be wearing my sunglasses right now talking about all this.
No, trust me, I definitely get it. Like I said, it's something where I'm sure we'll probably talk about it in a little bit. Like kind of like with what happened with Judgment Day. Like remember, like at first it didn't really catch on, but and like they were just kind of they were consistent with it, just kept with it, and then eventually it got over. I'm starting to kind of see the same thing with the Final Testament. I think they're starting to
Yeah.
catch a little bit of momentum, especially with now with what's happening with the Judgment Day. I'm like I said, there's opportunity here that I think that with time this can all cook, and I think that from what I recall with Odyssey Jones back at NXT, I'm like, if 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 we can keep him upright and keep him healthy, there's a lot of potential there, a shit ton of potential.
Yeah. And we're gonna see it. And I feel like as long as he continues to amaze and astound, I think we will be intrigued at least enough where he can get injured and then he can come back in another like beautiful big way. Because yeah, he's a big dude. Like it's tough to kind of
You
keep all
can't
that
miss him.
intact.
You can't
Yeah.
miss him. That is a big motherfucker.
And I agree with this comment. Biggie has to be a part of this somehow, even if he's not cleared to actually wrestle. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even he can just show up and it are because he does a lot of the like panel talk. So all he
Yeah,
has to he can do that where he can just like talk crap or support on the panel. Like that's all he has to do.
it could definitely become a thing, because I feel like, again, like you're talking about, like the nucleus was always E, Kofi, and Woods, and I feel like that could even be something that's used to where even um, E is on board with it, but so basically Kofi's on board, E is on board, but Xavier isn't, and
All right.
that's kind of like how he uses that to disconnect uh from the New Day altogether. So like I said, we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's get into some SummerSlam.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Liv defeats Rhea Ripley, and let's wait until we talk about Gunther and Priest to talk about Monday.
Okay.
But I want to start off by saying Liv feels like a true champion this time around. Her WWE SmackDown Championship run from 2 years ago never felt dominant.
Yeah.
She had the title for 7 months. She beat Ronda
Did she?
Rousey. Yeah, it was 7 months. Ronda Rousey at Money in the Bank early July after she was beat down.
Hmm.
Then beat Rousey again later in July at SummerSlam. But then you have to skip 2 months for her next title match, which she beat Shayna Baszler as like a warm up to Ronda. And then a
Hmm.
month later, Rousey won her title back. So
Yeah.
technically, two successful matches with the title over 7 months.
That's wild. That's wild. I mean, I like we talked about during the watch along. Like like to me, this was the show of the night, the match of the night,
Yeah.
and I think that this was easily Liv Morgan's best match ever. This as far as just how she delivered on her end, and she was able to take a nice little beating
Yeah, she did.
from Rhea, but at the same time, I think that it's like it's always interesting, like when you kind of know that some turns are coming, but it's still about the execution and how it's
Mm-hmm.
done. It's like, oh yeah, that was pretty smooth how they did that, and like how we saw with Dom, sliding the chair into the ring, and then later on with Finn, it's like, oh, I didn't think it was going to happen that way, and it's like, okay, I see where we're at, and yeah, like I think that you know keeping the belt on Liv this way makes sense, and now it's going to become a story of like basically like, how does she keep the belt on her, and whether it's her cheating, Dom helping her cheat, Finn helping her cheat,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the Judgment Day 2.0, how they all conspire to keep the belt on Rhea and how long that's going to last.
Who they can, yeah, add on. Because, I mean, this is Carlito's been like, oh, never mind. Sorry. Wait till we get to Gunter. Because I have so many things I about this. The match was great. Like I said, I would just, it was really nice to see Liv hitting actual, like, she was attacking at moments. She was physical. And I know there's only so much you can do against Rhea Ripley because she's just so domineering. Like mommy does, like I like that mommy does, like everybody likes that mommy does if we keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
And so and just like also shout out to her and Damien, like both of them, big people, keeping pretty much to their characters, like still kind of being like tough, scary, big people, but they are now very obviously faces. And so I just love that WWE, like this is a complete side note, this is not even anything that I have written down. It's just the way that the WWE has switched from like good guys do these things, bad guys do these things, instead of it's just like it's truly what their inspiration is. Like they believe
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing, and it's like most things, like bad guys. The reason why they're bad guys, they have this like long story where they went a different path, and this is what we're seeing with these people is they still want to kick everyone's butt and beat everyone down, but it's more to like get revenge and prove everyone against. And hey, now we'll get to him, but well, old Campion, he now has a new family, and it's us.
Yeah, yeah. Did you watch? Did you by chance watch his documentary yet?
I,
On I watched most of it. I think it was Sunday. I think, and yeah, like they really go into his story, and it's super interesting. That's as far as just him coming from New York, going to Puerto Rico, coming back, and then his journey into wrestling and wrestling on the indies and everything. Um, like he definitely went through a real process there because you know you could definitely tell that that wrestling was something that he absolutely wanted to do. I think there was definitely some periods where he was probably disillusioned by a lot of stuff because I mean, all this considered, like when you're like 6'5", 6'6", um, at least 250 on a great day, but of course, like in his case, he got up to like almost 400 pounds, like just
Yeah, he was just a big man.
just basically like just in the mud and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it took some come to Jesus moments with him, and he finally got things in gear, and he was able to kind of focus on the necessary things that he needed to focus on, so that way he could get signed by WWE, go through NXT, go to the main roster, have his moments with Bad Bunny, and ultimately becoming world champ. And I think that it's kind of crazy that he's as old as he is. He's like 41, and it's like he got his start in WWE late.
Yes.
And but at the same time, I think that there's definitely some meat on the bones as far as like what they can do with him. Even with him losing the title now, I think that
he feels stronger now.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely an opportunity where it might not be right away, but there'll definitely be an opportunity later on down the line where he's able to get back and win the championship again.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And obviously this Finn thing that we'll get into more.
But no, like,
gonna be more.
Well, what I was going to say was that
Oh.
the situation with Liv and Rhea and Dom, it's actually been creating a very interesting conversation online, kind of going into what you were talking about with the with how the storylines have kind of changed up under Triple H. The interesting thing there is that by and large, you can make an argument that Rhea is still the heel here, even though obviously she didn't book as a babyface, but like
Yes.
all this considered,
Uh-huh.
like she made Dom turn from her dad.
Yeah.
And
technically did hurt Liv also. She's the one that took Liv out.
She's the one that injured Liv. So of course with Dom, turned against his dad, turned against his mom, turned against his sister, and here you have this poor little white girl, looking all innocent and them big blue eyes, saying like, "Hey, I'll get you chicken nuggets. I'll get you what you want. I'll treat you
from this abusive relationship."
Yeah, this super toxic relationship where like if you don't win the NXT North American title, you're done. You're
right.
done.
Right.
She just wants him to be happy and be on top and all that stuff. And as soon as Rhea gets back, she's like, "You're mine. You're mine." And it's like, hey, sometimes you just want to go away, run away, and be happy, and that's what Dom wanted to do. And it even like in Damien's case, because like he was talking about, he could do this without the Judgment Day, kind of like Jay-Z said, go ahead, make another one of me. Go ahead and do that. And I think that in both cases, you can make a very solid argument that they're the heels, but of course, you saw how they were reacting. It's like you see that pop, for Rhea on Monday, like dog, like shout out to Baltimore, by the way, because they were absolutely into the shits on Monday night. Like
they are booing, but it's spelled BEW, not BOO. Shout out to the Baltimore. I love you guys and your accent.
On the right woman. Oh my god.
Oh, right. No, facts, like facts. Nope, nope, nope. I'm not
Shout
saying
out to
I'm
AJ Reese. That's all I gotta
I'm
say.
gonna keep it moving, keep it moving, get myself in trouble. Braun Breaker defeats Sami Zayn, which he deserves. Braun
Yep.
Breaker, he's been killing it for a while. I was shocked at how dominant he looked. Also, side note, dominant is going to be the word that I'm going to probably use a lot in this episode because, especially once I get to Nia Jax. But when Braun hit Sammy with his Kamehameha spear, I've just been like so used to Sammy like breaking out of it.
Figuring out a way. Just figuring out a
Yeah,
way.
like
Yeah.
somehow, some way. And when he was just like still laying down, not moving, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like I was visibly shook it during the watch along. I was like, oh, Sammy, get up! What are you doing?
Get up! Get up!
I can't believe I fell for it because I wasn't the biggest Sami Zayn fan because, like I said, I got back into wrestling during the COVID time. I went back a couple years and then caught up and stuff. So all I saw was like the pissant Sami Zayn, the conspiracy theorist Sami Zayn, things like that. So I just saw a lot of promo, a lot of talking, not much like amazing wrestling.
Yeah, like the way that the old man saw Sammy, which is very interesting. And mind you, like, he would manage to
Yes, he
make
was great.
chicken salad out of chicken shit sometimes,
Mhm.
but then it was just always a case of like, what if you actually, you know, let him, you know, stop goofing him up and everything. Let him actually, do what he actually knows how to do pretty well. And I think the last 2 years, you've kind of seen
Mhm.
like what you can do with Sammy when you actually give him some focus. And like he's been amazing. It's a shame that the that his run with the IC title went as short as it did, but at the same time, I think that it accomplished a lot. So, it's nothing to hang your head low about. It's just, hey, sometimes you gotta step aside and let the young bull run, and I think they're about to do that. I will say they showed a video because Braun's dad Rick Steiner and his uncle Scott Steiner
Yeah,
was at
that was
the
a cool
show.
video. Yeah.
And of course you talked about it during the watch along. It's like you're Cleveland, the Browns are known as dog pound and everything. So of course, like Braun barks, they barked there, and then they had a video of Rick and Scott, and Rick started barking. I was like, man, it's like, that's it, man. That was his thing back
Yeah.
when he was wrestling. I was like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
like, that's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I know that it's technically a family thing that he does with that bark, but maybe it's
It felt
been
good to
so
see Rick bark again, and
yeah,
not bark at people who are just trying to live their life. But that's a whole other story. It's a whole other story.
that's a whole different story. But yeah, it feels maybe it's far away enough, like how they bring back old movie IPs after like a generation or so and try to spin it. This is a positive bring back. This is yeah, I was gonna say a remake that I enjoyed, but I was like, has it really been a remake that I've like thoroughly enjoyed? And then I didn't want to think about it because we have plenty to talk about. Yeah, and then his promo on Monday saying that even with this title, he is the hunter.
Yeah.
Who will be the next victim to challenge him? And so, amazing question. Who's going to be his next victim? Because it has to be someone he's going to destroy. His next, I feel like
Is it?
three people he needs to destroy. Yeah, he needs to destroy.
I
At
feel
least
like
two.
I feel like there's still some meat in the bones with Ilya, but I
That's
really
the
hate,
problem.
but I really hate to see Ilya lose. I
Yes.
feel like
Yes.
at some point you're gonna start cooking with Ilya, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, yeah, we could have saved ourselves some time, made him by not having him lose. So I really don't know there. It might have to be like some type of sacrificial lamb like the Miz or like R-Truth, some shit like that. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. That's exactly what's. Honestly, it could be both of them. It could be first
not
R-Truth,
wrong.
and then the Miz, like he destroys Truth, and then R-Truth goes away, and then the Miz can try to fight for him, and luckily,
Fight for the honor of R-Truth.
right, and they can make that an actual like long thing because Miz that's usually what he does. Is he turns a I forgot what it's called, but anyway, the matchup between the two people, it can be a long program. There we go. It can be like a month-long program.
We'll see. But yeah, I actually y'all know like how I am about LeBron. So I think that, and it was very poetic for LeBron to get his first crown in Cleveland. So it all works out. So
Oh man, so LeBron Breaker, he's the new king.
whether it's in Paris or Cleveland, like I said, LeBron's always gonna
LeBron's
be
all
there.
around are doing their thing.
Yep, basically.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's great. Okay. So US title, LA Knight defeats Logan Paul. LA Knight.
Ooh.
Yeah. Before we get into this match, how
Yeah.
long
Do we have to have the conversation? I think we do.
like about Logan Paul?
Logan. Yeah.
No, everybody knows the conversation.
Do they though? Because I feel like, because here's the thing, you know, clearly in recent months, he's kind of like made his political.
He's always sucked, though. He's always
Yeah,
sucked.
he's
Him
always
and
been a
his brother
jerk. He's always
became
been a jerk.
super famous because they were walking through the forest in Japan where
Yeah.
a lot of suicides happen.
He's
And
always
then-
been a jerk. He's always been a
so
jerk.
that's what
But
I'm
I think
saying. Like that's why I don't like fuck that dude. And like what I'm saying is, I wanted him to come in and have LA Knight smash old boy, but they actually had a banger of a match.
I mean, all this
and-
considered, like Logan's good.
Yes.
So I didn't expect.
And he had some
you know,
good spots.
Yeah. I think the question I have is that, do you think that he lost this title because we need to get the belt on LA Knight because it's time, or is it very convenient timing given the things that have happened outside the ring?
Yeah, I think it's all above. I think he was going to lose it anyway because you legitimately can't have LA Knight lose again, and to Logan Paul, who is a part-time wrestler. Like
I didn't realize that, because he won the belt back at Crown Jewel back in November. I didn't realize that he's only defended the title.
That was the third time.
Including SummerSlam 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times. I was like,
no, he mentioned it, and he mentioned it as like a flex, and naturally that's what he has to do. But it's just so disgusting what they had turned. Like same thing with Gunther. Like I love that Gunther because Gunther added a seriousness to the Intercontinental title. Like it feels like a real title again.
And then you have actual legends like The Undertaker talking about Logan Paul actually help make the U.S. title mean something. I'm like, nah, dog.
Again, you got a bunch of nerds knowing about it.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
Yeah, I feel like I said, there's the funny thing here is that given what's happened and given that he's no longer U.S. champ, if you're not going to put the world title on him, would it make sense to just cut bait?
Honestly, I felt like this is a part of the plan the entire time. He was going to come in, win something, make some scenes, and then get out of there. Like that's kind of what all celebrities do, and then he can come back in a year or two if he has managed to somehow make his star bigger. I honestly don't know where Logan Paul could do it, and it was one of those things like Logan Paul probably should have pivoted and made himself a full-time wrestler, but
it would make sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
but now that he said the stuff, I don't think he can now because WWE, they very much care about at least
this is definitely a new WWE. So
yes.
I think the likelihood of Logan Paul having anywhere close to a full-time run is probably not really a consideration right now, and really it's to the point where I think that we probably won't see him again for a hot minute. Yeah. I think that there's always the opportunity to atone and try to apologize and all that stuff, but I think with him not having the belt, there's no real need to have him on the show working some random angle. And and again, if he's not winning the world title, which I can't see that he's going to be Cody anytime soon, um, it's like you don't really need him. So I other than like maybe like showing up in the Rumble, I don't see a
Actually,
need for him.
that's a
So
great point. He'll just be on Pat McAfee's show, and I mean, and that's a good way to
yeah,
keep him in and a
and
part of it.
and
He
and
hops on,
Pat,
talks about wrestling for a little bit, and hops off. Yeah, and Pat has his own problems.
yeah, and it looks like he's about to. Well, who knows how that's going to work out because he's supposed to be going back to college game day back when the football season starts. But who knows if what he said on his show is going to end up with any blowback, and he's end up in his own limbo too. Because I'm like, the thing about it is he was just starting to catch a groove, working Raw again, and then you do this, and now you're about to be back off the show off Raw, doing college football. Which all this considered, I'm like, why did you come back if you knew that this was going to be
Well, he
on
was
the
doing
table?
wrestling a favor because they were kind of scrambling with their like commentary. It wasn't
I
the
mean,
best.
I liked him on SmackDown. I do think that I feel like Raw was too long of a show because I feel like his the way that he does stuff, it kind of wears on you. So like by like that third hour, it's like, all right, now shut up.
Yeah, he's doing so much screaming. He's doing so much. Yeah, 2 hours is the perfect amount.
But yeah, Logan got to go. So holla.
See ya, bud. And so, how long do you think the Yeah Chants go before
I
they get
mean,
stale?
now that LA Knights finally got a belt, I think that this is definitely a kind of a new lease on life, and
Mhm.
really it's going to be a matter of how
So the
how
Yeah
well
Chant
how
is
well how well his stories from here go forward because I feel like he was able to go this past year without winning a title and still be pretty over with the fans.
Mhm.
So I think that now it's going to be a case of like one, how does he carry it with this? Because I feel like if he does well with this, I definitely see a scenario where at some point next year he's probably getting a run with the world title, or whether it be Raw or SmackDown.
Honestly, I think they just need to give him a big run with the US. Like, there's a huge mid card that he can knock out, and
He
it can be.
can, but
And
the
one
same,
of the things, just in if he once he knocks everybody out, proves that he is, it'll be draft time. Move him over to the other one, then he can knock a bunch of people out, and from there, then he can win Money in the Bank and do his
I
stuff.
I I think that especially because like the past couple of years, like he's made a big thing out of winning Money in the Bank, and I feel like next year would be the perfect opportunity to finally get over that hump, and then he'll be able to cash in next year. So yeah, I think that this was the right time for LA, and yeah, well, I'm definitely looking forward to see like what he can do, and hopefully they don't fumble it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Heavy. He's a big dude, so I could see him wrestling with anybody. They're obviously like some smaller dudes, like Mello. How far can
Yeah,
they go? Um,
there's a lot of mid card guys that like because you had Roman on top for so long, and not just him. You also had Gunther with the IC belt for so long. There's a lot of mid card guys that really need that shine of having either the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title. So the next few months, next year or so, should be pretty interesting as far as like trying to elevate those guys to the next level. So hopefully, within 2 or 3 years, they'll be the guys that we'll be looking at as far as possible future world champs.
well, and wasn't it like Booker T won the title like it was like 6 times in a year? Like that's something that they could easily do with like three people and just have them beating. And obviously, you can put in a storyline where it's great. And Booker T obviously hit off from there. There are things that he had to do himself, but you could easily hopscotch the belt around put it in story while just constantly lifting each other.
You don't want to overdo it, but at the same time, I
That's right.
definitely think there's definite opportunity to where one, even when you lose, you really win. Kind of talk about white men can't jump, but but I definitely think that there's a lot of people out here that really are due a a decent push. That way they can, hopefully move their way up the card and be those people for the future for Triple H.
Man, Queen Nia, we can call her the Queen Champion Nia Jax. Uh, basically, just well, first shout out to Bailey for one hitting a Bailey to belly on Nia, and
and,
being the first person to ever kick out of the Annihilator. Like that.
and for that power bomb on night, it's like
Oh, bro, I forgot about that. Oh my god, Bailey is so great. Oh my god, she's so great.
she's a
And,
beast.
and
She's a
it sucks
beast.
that her thing is just like constantly getting everybody else over. Like that is her fucking thing, is getting everybody. And it's very similar to Seth. And it's actually, and I heard doing all of the Randy Macho Man stuff, that actually it's terrifyingly accurate. I know that's her favorite wrestler. And
Mm-hmm.
but that was like Macho Man thing, was he got everybody over because he was so beloved that
Mm-hmm.
honestly it didn't matter if he had the title or not because people were going to cheer for him.
It's a great problem to have, as far as just the roster goes, because like I said, like her work is damn near untouchable,
Mm-hmm.
and people do appreciate that. It's kind of like the next generation of, like, because Natalia for the longest time is kind of in that same spot where you're giving all this great work towards everybody, but it was never focused on her.
Never on
And I
Natalia.
feel like with Bailey, she has a bit more equity in that regard. So of course she's at least getting her title runs occasionally, but at the same time, it's just not, never like long runs. Like the longest run she got was like during the Thunderdome era, and she ended up having to let it go because she got hurt. So um, it's been that getting on that road back from that injury, coming to now, and I I could never say anything bad about Bailey. I think that she tries to do the right thing for the business every time. She doesn't. Um, she never. She's always there. As long as she's healthy, she's always there. So I think that's all you can really ask for. Like, I doubt that she's gonna fall too far down the card, but I definitely think that you know Naya has positioned herself
Yes,
very well since she's come back. I think that
most deserved.
she's done her best to stay professional.
Naya.
There's nobody talking about how they've injured. She's injured them, so that's a big plus. So hopefully we're in a space to where we could actually see like Naya in her ultimate form and really see what we can happen here. Not to mention, Tiffany tried to cash in, but Bailey cut that off. So that's still going to be a thing. And she did finally get the customs
Yeah,
briefcase and everything. So we did see that. So yeah, I'm good with that.
and
I think I was almost undefeated in my predictions, by the way.
I think you were too. And Naya also giving it to Tiffany is a nice little like twist on it as well. Because when she eventually turns on her, she's gonna turn on her with the case that was given to her by Naya. So that's nice. And
That'd be cold blooded, but yeah,
right,
that,
right. And then Bailey's the new women's cane, which two parts. I would vote for her if she ran for my local government. I just would hope that the turn
well,
wouldn't be like
as brutal as Kane
yes,
has been as Knox County mayor.
because it like when I heard that he was running for governor the first time, I was like, yeah, that's cool. And then you quickly found out where he stood about things. You're like, oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there in Knoxville, trying
Mm-hmm.
to, tear things down. All I gotta say is stay away from couches.
Yes. Goodness gracious. Okay. Drew McIntyre defeats CM Punk with the Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. CM Petty ruined his chance to win because of that damn bracelet that he could have had gotten in 4 seconds. If he just finished off Drew, let Seth count to 3, he could have stared at Seth's wrist the entire time. And then Seth freaking Rollins could have given him the bracelet. And what annoys me the most about this is Seth tried to play his part and ref the match fairish as possible. And then he even, again, saved CM Punk from getting hit with a chair and held on to Punk's bracelet and kept it away from McIntyre. He is just ungrateful.
So I think I pointed this out during the watch along, because I noticed when Seth put the bracelet on, and I was like, that's going to come back. That's going to be a thing. And that whole moment with Punk, because mind you, he was about to, GTS Drew, and he was all ready to win the match when he noticed the bracelet on Seth's wrist. And it kind of reminded me of that moment in Batman vs Superman where Batman's beating the shit out of Superman, and then Superman starts saying Martha, and Batman freaks out like, "What did you say, Martha? Why did you say that name?" And it's one of those things where it's like, you are dog walking this dude and you just got distracted, and that cost you the fight, and that cost you the match. And the significance of the bracelet, I'm not going to say it's irrational. I'm not, because I mean, we all have our things with our loved ones. It's like, hey, if Pulp Fiction had a whole thing about a watch being stuck up a dude's ass, and it was important to Butch, and so I totally understand it. But at the same time, it's like we're seeing a side of Punk that we typically don't see. So it's like we're trying to understand, like, where is this side coming from? Why is this thing so important to him when typically he's a smart ass about everything? He's able to be petty and all that stuff. But
I know.
But yeah, it
also
took his eyes off the prize.
Yeah, exactly. And the point that he's been trying to teach Drew is you need to stay focused.
Yeah.
And he is now doing the complete opposite or what he's trying to teach Drew about. And now Drew has seemed to be the one who is kind of honed in on how to fuck with CM Punk. They've seemed to do a good job at flipping where they were from a year ago.
Yeah. And of course now, on Monday, of course, we were about to have a very, very intense moment with Punk and Seth, to the point where they weren't even trying to look at Drew when he tried to come to the crowd to talk his cash shit. And
I know.
Justin,
hey, I'm over here. Hey, please look at me.
And he finally was able to get Punk's attention. And just when we thought that we were about to get our fight with Punk and Drew again, a very surprising face pops in, and I mean smashes up Seth Rollins something serious. My man,
had
LeBron
Seth coughing up blood, bro.
And this part that I really started noticing in the crowd in Baltimore, because you were hearing screams, you were hearing
people
shrieks.
were losing it.
I mean, Michael Cole was giving his best work ever in life.
1,000%. Yeah.
I mean, just the level of panic that was going on in that segment.
Me too,
I was
bro. I was freaking out too.
I was like,
I was losing it. I was losing it.
They're in the pocket right here. They're because
8 tsunamis.
Yes, they were absolutely in their shit, and it was working. It was getting over.
I'm stressed. You can see I'm stressed thinking about it again right now.
Because it's one thing when you relay a sense of panic and fear. It's nothing when you get when you get the fans involved and they're
Mm-hmm.
bought into it as well, and they're like, "Somebody please help!"
Right?
Oh my
No!
god!
Stop! But
Stop!
also do it
Throw the damn towel!
again! Like, truly, I was just like, no, somebody stop this. Like, yes, I
That
know,
that
sell the
was
moment, but like, stop.
that was that was the kids say cinema.
It was though. Oh man. And by the way, yes, I was worried about Punk's health. Not the whole match. I think once we made it halfway through and nothing extravagant had happened, I was like, okay, we're good.
I mean, he looked pretty good. Um, I think I mentioned during the watch along, like it's kind of crazy to think that like because of his his injuries back at AEW, like for the most part, um, we really haven't seen a lot of him in the last 2 years, which is kind of wild considering the run that he had in AEW.
Mhm.
But like you're talking about like basically a house show match at MSG, the Royal Rumble, and like and that's pretty much it for like the better part of the last year.
Mhm.
And then of course like he was only just getting back when he got fired by AEW. And so like he really like the last like about 2 years, like it really hasn't worked a whole lot. So like I felt like I'm pretty sure he probably felt it was very important to one, get them arms right, because I mean he's popped both triceps in both arms, and be something that where he can be relied upon for at least a half decent run. Like it's not like he has to work every single week,
Yeah.
but I do think that we're at a point now where we had to wait so long to get Punk back into action that he's probably got to work a little bit more than what we probably initially planned. Just so big, hey, like these people love you, they want to see you. Let's make sure that you are able to go. So, at least the early word is like that he and Drew maybe main eventing the show out here in Atlanta on October 5th. So I just might have to pull up the cash for that ticket.
Have they started selling tickets for him?
Yeah, yeah.
How much? How
Um,
much is like average? I guess I could look it up.
I have to look, yeah, because I'll say
But yeah, because
we'll see.
I've never been to a wrestling event, and they come to the Quad Cities now. They come to Des Moines now because of Seth, and those are just like, I mean, they're still Raws, so
Mhm.
I need to go to them now.
You do,
So
you do.
yeah,
I haven't been to a show. Oh, it's probably been like a good
and I've never been.
6-7 years.
I never was interested in it, to be honest. Like even when
I
I was
will
watching
say
it as a
this.
kid,
I will say this because
but
like
now I want to experience it.
I will say this, like the experience that you get live, especially like when it's a televised show, um, it's interesting because it's different like when you are watching it on TV because of course you're able to turn your attention away when there's a commercial break or whatever, or when there's like a video package and you having to watch the screens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when you're in the arena, it's so weird because like it's like the momentum kind of stops. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, I gotta wait for this package, and then they might have something backstage. Meanwhile, the wrestler's still just been chilling in the ring for like 10-15 minutes, just waiting for the match to start. You're like, okay, we're finally ready. Let's go. I think Crunk when Dead on Me, like he did the same thing on Saturday. We did the watch along. Like, hopefully he gets his shit together. Like, but yeah. What else do we have? I guess we could hit up on the other part of the Judgment Day saga with Damien and Finn. Of course, they opened up the show on Monday with. Are we good now? Are we good now?
I didn't know that I wasn't. I was
Yeah,
talking, and then you were like, "Well, hopefully he
yeah,
can join me," and I was like, "What? I'm here. I see myself.
yeah.
What are you talking about?"
Oh man,
Wow,
yes.
that's
The
crazy.
the beauty of
I mean, my
technology.
internet
I
has
tell you.
been. We had like a
I'm about to joke because like I used to joke Phil
yeah.
from
My
Blackfires
ever since the there was a storm the other day.
That Chicago internet, like let me find out that it's extended over to Iowa, and y'all got some bootleg shit over there too.
Wait, did I drop again?
No, you're good.
Did I drop again? Okay, I was like, wait, is this happening again? I'm have PTSD about this forever now. I was like, oh my god, did it happen? Uh,
Hilarious,
oh man,
hilarious.
oh,
But
I
no,
had a little bit of delay. Okay, cool.
but
Oh,
no,
hey, I saw a new fan in here, so shout out to you. Thanks for coming on.
but yeah, I guess we can go ahead and hit on the other side as the world as the Judgment Day turns,
Yes,
and
I like that.
hit up on Damian and Finn. Of course, they opened up the show on Monday, uh, and no, actually no, I take it back. Guthrie opened up the show, but they were at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, of course we saw that the reformed Judgment Day now with live in the mix
Hmm.
and Damian and Rhea essentially out. Of course, what do you think about this Terror Twins name? Are you feeling that?
The Terror Twins.
Yeah, that's what they're calling Rhea and not Dom, Rhea and Damien.
Hmm. No,
No,
especially if you're supposed to be faces, like and you're called Terror Twins.
because they're still ultra goth. So I guess that's a
Yeah,
thing.
no, I get it, but
But
I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know. I feel like
not really feeling it. Not really.
we need to keep the like because they're eventually going to break up. They're not going to stay together all the time. So it's like, why are we about to name
I
like what
mean,
are we
like, but
about?
when they break up, it's not gonna be like on some fuck you shit. It's gonna be like, hey, I gotta do my own thing and shit.
We'll always be Terror Twins.
Yeah. But 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 no, it's like I said, we see where the battle lines have drawn. Team Liv has managed to adopt Carlito in the in the fallout, which I was honestly a question that I had. I was like, where is Carlito going to go in all this? Because like,
So is
granted,
his quick question? Is his awkwardness in and around the ring on purpose? Like, is he
yes,
purposely
yes.
like being a bad wrestler and stuff like that?
I mean, I think that his awkwardness comes with just trying to fit in because obviously he's not that ultra goth like everybody else was trying to be. Um, but
Yeah.
and I think that the the role that he's meant to be in that group, um, he's I don't want to say he's Teflon because I mean obviously he's a guy that's been around for a while, but at the same time like he can take a beating and be able to bounce back from it. So and probably take the licks for Finn and for JD and for Dom and like I said, it all goes off of his back like it's no thing. So
Well, it's because we really have never seen Carlito do anything.
I mean, we have actually, but this has been a long ass time. Like since he came
Yeah,
back.
but even back then, like
Back then, they actually tried to do something. Of course,
they
it never.
tried, but
It
yeah,
because of course that's a whole other rant. Because I feel
yes.
like they were trying to make him like a Timu version of Razor Ramon, but that's a whole different thing. But
Oh,
but I think that for what they're trying to do with him now, obviously they know he can work, but at the same time, I feel like again they're trying to they make him the easy shield for everybody, so that way, Finn doesn't have to take the L. Dom doesn't have to take the L. Sometimes even JD doesn't have to take the L. They can beat him up, and again, it doesn't do him any damage because his spot is where it is. It's not really going anywhere.
that's fair.
But I think that under this new blonde, this new blonde regime. I don't know. Maybe we'll see a change. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to. I like what Carlito's doing, and if he's happy being the character that he is, I will not
You
hate
said,
him.
hey, I just need some time off the island. Get some good vibes back on the mainland, and I'll be back on the island soon enough. So you enjoy it while you can.
That's fair. Cody Rhodes defeats Solo Sikoa thanks to OTC. I know it's original tribal chief, but I don't know. It just feels very.
It feels very politic OTC. That's
Yeah, it just feels very uncool for like Roman Reigns, who is truly one of the like coolest people we've had for a while.
I definitely understand that point of view. Something's not quite curling right
Like, is he
with
gonna
it.
call himself the OTC? Like,
But that's the thing, though. It's like I wouldn't want to separate, being the original tribal chief and said there's a new tribal chief. Like it's only one tribal chief. That
exactly.
is me. That is me.
So that's why he's
The
calling it the OTC. Like, it should just be
TC.
TC. Like, I am the tribal chief. There's not a one. There's not an
Is that
original. There's
is
not a
that a,
new. Like, it doesn't matter, past or present. Either you're the tribal chief or you're not, and I am
yeah
the tribal chief.
yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know. It like I know they need to make new T-shirts
Mm-hmm.
and new things to sell, and I'm sure he'll have a brand new shirt the next time we see him.
Right.
But it's just I don't know. I saw it and I legitimately was just staring at the OTC more than I was like, oh cool, Roman's back.
Now I will say, of course, like that night they released a new Roman Reigns styled WWE Championship belt. That thing sold out in like 2 hours. Apparently, they made about $800,000 off of selling those belts on site. I'm like, the thing actually looks sick as shit. That thing like that belt, like some of the belts that they do like that, they look kind of crazy, but that one actually kind of fit, and I was like, damn, that looks good. I wasn't about to pay $600 for it, but hey, that's just me. Some people got that kind of money.
Was it this autograph one? Wait, no.
No. It's like the tribal chief belt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's like red and black, and it's got like I said, it looks dope as shit. But yeah, I wasn't about to pay $600 for that. Like the people who got that kind of cash should just go ahead and spend it on a belt.
Oh yeah, no, 1,000%.
Yeah, more power to you. Because like I used to have
buy me one,
the Smoking Skull belt, but yeah, that was a while back.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. No, that is cool.
Yeah, but
looks like,
of course, we'll have Roman Reigns going to be on SmackDown on Friday. Cody's going to be on SmackDown on Friday. They haven't said if Solo's going to be on there.
I swear to God, if they end up in a freaking triple threat for the title, oh my
God. They're not going to do that right away. No, like I said, I think the focus, at least in the immediate, is
OTC versus NTC.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of when. I doubt it's going to be at Bash at Berlin, but at the same time, it just might. And
that's
like, of course, like
3 weeks.
But like,
yeah, it has to be because
you can't. My thing right now is that, and we were talking about this last week and also during the watch along. It's like Roman cost Solo the match at SummerSlam.
Yes.
Of course, my prediction was that Solo was going to win. I'm like, what reason does Roman really have to confront Solo right now when he doesn't have the belt? Because basically at this point you ensure that he's going to be just a pretender, and if he's just a pretender, he ain't the tribal chief.
Honestly, and with the like temper tantrum that he threw on the side, Solo did. On the ground, just like I loved it. I loved
the memes that they got off on that one. That was
yeah. Like I loved it. It was great for the story. It was amazing acting, And it definitely says, yeah, Solo's gonna destroy Roman. He's
Tough
gonna
luck, kid.
destroy him. He's gonna
Tough
destroy
luck, kid.
Roman.
And then of course the $50 million question is Jacob Fatu hurt for real? Because like he had the table spot with Cody during SummerSlam, and almost right away he was holding his foot, and like even like when he went to gather up Solo, he was still holding on to the foot, and like there was people him and Solo were at a convenience store after the show, and he was in a boot, and I'm like,
Oh,
please don't let that man be hurt too much. I'm like,
especially foot too, because that can be like tricky and can go and come away and be a problem for a while.
yeah, I'm like, especially considering like how much he had to work to really get into WWE in the first place, and then make such a strong impact already, only to be knocked out. I'd be like, that would suck. That would really, really suck. So hopefully he's not too seriously hurt. I mean, we already got one guy with one eye. I'm like, we don't need another guy in the new
And we
bloodline.
don't want to see him wrestling anyway. If we're gonna be
We
honest.
really, I did not realize the spot that he had with Cody. Like he's trying to knock him into the corner, and like he missed the corner and kind of had to push him into the turnbuckle. I was like, good Lord, man! Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, and it's funny to me because Tonga Loa has been in WWE before. Like people don't remember. Well, some people do remember that he was Camacho, with the lowrider bicycle,
Yeah, he's
the
Mexican.
beach cruiser, and he was supposed to be Mexican. And I'm like, it's like I don't remember him wrestling back then. I just remember the entrances and everything, and I'm like, was he always this bad? Because I mean, like obviously I've seen the stuff with him in New Japan. I'm like,
yeah,
like what happened?
yeah, because it's in according to WWE, they're two different people.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're
It's
keeping the
the
Camacho
multiverse.
real. Yep, they're keeping the Camacho real. So I like it. The rumors are it's a sell. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because yeah, it could put a huge wrench in things if he's hurt, especially because he's the best wrestler.
He's the straw that stirs the drink in the new bloodline. So, without that, I mean, they could put the focus back on Tama Tonga, but I just feel like for just the ferocity that Jacob has brought so far, it's just different from what everybody else does. Like it's something that you kind of, because it kind of gives you a vibe back with like the original Wild Samoans and the Islanders and the Head Shrinkers and all that stuff. Like I feel like it's the throwback to how the Samoans used to act.
Yes, it's
back when you didn't know back when you didn't know if they actually spoke English and shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I know he does seem like. Does he speak English? I think he just only speaks in like yells and grunts and stuff. And then
there's a video of him and Naomi watching a rainbow out the sky. Like even then, he sounds so damn aggressive. Even when he's trying to be peaceful, I'm like, dude, like, like this, like he's probably funny without even trying. But like, good Lord, man.
And we should touch on the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. I guess we'd have to.
I honestly thought it was great. Everybody, what they nailed this time around is that they're all decent wrestlers. Like they're all like Loomis, giant old dude, crazy guy. Obviously, cannot remember their names at the moment, but they.
I think it was
Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy.
Yeah. This time it's Joe Gacy. It's not Joe Hendry. This time it's actually.
Yes, I'm saying the right name this time. Yes. And Joe Gacy, he's a good wrestler. He had a couple of his spots where he got like flipped and held himself upside down. Like everybody had a really cool spot. Even the old giant dude did the freaking off the rope thing. Like I don't know how much wrestling he can do. It definitely felt scary the entire time.
The nods to both Bray Wyatt as well as Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper, they were definitely present in that match. And of course, one thing that they definitely made sure to put a light on was that um, apparently Monday was like the anniversary of the Wyatt family's first appearance on the main roster, and which also happened to be in Baltimore. So for things to kind of come full circle for this group in that moment, of course, videos came out after the show. Like they're having a big group hug um, in the middle of the ring, like because obviously th- those people especially are still coming to terms with the loss of Bray Wyatt, and also with Brody as well. And I think that if they did nothing else, I feel like having this moment here was important for them as people as well as wrestlers. And now I feel like almost by default they're able to now turn the page and start with the story of the Wyatt Six and see where we go from here. But I also will say those locks on Dexter Lumis are absolutely wild. So yeah,
Yeah, no, they're egregious. They're definitely egregious, but he's dead and whatever. So but it's no, they're not great. And there was a moment where Gable pulled him his head off him, and I legitimately thought they were like yanked off of him because he doesn't have that much hair to be putting
right,
those dreads on. So I was just
right,
like, oh god. And they already shouldn't be in his hair, if we're gonna be honest. So it's like
yeah.
I was legitimately terrified that he was about to like get up and then they'd be kind of just like dangling on.
We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, like that was really a good moment. Again, shout out to them. Shout out to Baltimore because like they really came through
Yeah, they
in,
did.
in,
They're
in such a big way.
yeah.
Monday night, we got SmackDown on Friday. I honestly didn't watch a whole lot of NXT on Tuesday. I did see like a little bit of the Joe Hendry match, and I did see Trick losing to Pete Dunne. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? But
Yeah. I
uh,
still don't get that. Like even when it happened, I was like, because I did watch. I was like, I
but
guess
yeah,
Pete Dunne is getting the push.
I mean, like he like back in the day, he was definitely a big player in NXT UK. Like I think he was their first NXT champ over there. Before Walter, now Gunther, held it for like 10 years and shit. Um, and of course, like once he got over here, especially once he got over to the main roster and the old man got his hands on him and turned him to the damn butch and shit. That shit was fucking whack. But
Which he blamed Sheamus for, but like hasn't really been dealing with Sheamus. So it's
I mean,
like
he has like
he has, but he hasn't, but he
yeah,
has.
he's just been like all emo towards everybody, and it I'm curious to see where this goes, but at the same time, I'm like, you beating Trick? What are we doing here? That's your money guy right there. That's like you don't let this guy beat Trick. Like you don't do that. So yeah,
Well, shoot. I think we covered everything until we're back for the next time. Uh,
I have no AEW rants this time. So I honestly I didn't really get a chance to watch last night, but because like I don't know what I was doing, but yeah, whatever.
yeah, I was gonna try to think. What else happened on NXT? Ora Mensa getting his chance, but obviously Ego needs to. That's basically all they're doing. They're just keeping Trick busy because they I think they've realized what
I
I was
think
saying
that
in the first place, that they don't have the stars right now. They don't have the people, and it's almost like they're starting from scratch. It really feels this way.
yes and no. I feel like there is that issue, but and of course they're about to start on the CW at the start of October, and they're also going on the road. I think their first show is going to be in Chicago, and then after that's
Mm.
going to be in St. Louis. I don't know if it's going to be a case of like where they alternate weeks between on the road and back to Orlando, on the road back to Orlando. Like we'll see how that goes there. Of course, we're we're pretty much in the final stretch of SmackDown on Fox before they move over to USA next month.
Oh.
Which honestly I can't wait because I feel like the incessant censoring on cuss words is just absolutely just in the way at this
And
point.
it's so silly, yeah. It's so silly. It's awkward.
But yeah, I think that as they kind of wrap up the summer going into Bash at Berlin, like I said, I feel like we're catching our stride. Cause like there's a lot of great things about Raw. I feel like what we got on Raw is what people were hoping to get the night after WrestleMania, but instead just got it for the night after SummerSlam. So that was a really good show, and so like hopefully they'll follow it up with a strong SmackDown. And like I said, we just had to like reset the table a little bit after Mania, but like I feel like now we're starting to see things kind of start crystallized as far as where they're going to go going into next year's Mania and go from there. So let's roll. What else you got, man?
I just signed up for the NXT Chicago tickets
Oh
pre-sale
yeah,
code, so we'll see if I get it.
About to pull up on Chi-Town.
I'm just a few hours away, and then that would be
Which building is this?
really cool.
Is it Wintrust or um blah, blah,
internet messing up.
yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah, that's
Allstate.
Oh no, I couldn't think of it for
Allstate.
some reason. But yeah, Rosemont. I'm like, nobody calls it Allstate. It's the Rosemont Horizon.
Like,
it's the Rosemont Horizon.
Yeah. Yep.
That's your internet, not mine. Hopefully, Crunk will get his stuff together one more time. In the event that he can't, make sure you follow us at YFW Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I don't know if we're on TikTok. Hopefully we are, Crunk. But so yeah, like I said, I could do the plug. Is that a problem? Where else can he find you, Crunk?
No, I appreciate it. Again, I didn't know I was off.
The beauty of the internet.
Yeah, I'm on all this, so don't worry about me.
All right, Tariq. And now he froze again. So yeah, make sure you follow Shades of Blue and W on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at FTCUTD on Twitter, FTUTD Pod on Instagram and Threads and TikTok. And hopefully we'll get Crunk one more time. And here he is. Do you have any final words?
Yeah.
Do you have any final words?
No. Say your saying before we get out of here.
Well, we will see y'all next week. Again, enjoy SmackDown and whatever AEW shows or whatever Impact shows that you want to watch. They're all good, whatever. But until then, for Crunk, this is Grego. If you can't be good, be bad. We out.